had comments in Steve's video and was asking, we want to see the car and what's this going into, and I actually had a couple of you guys the same thing on my video. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming over to the channel, checking it out. I hope I don't disappoint. Hope you guys really like what's going on here in the barn and what we're doing. But here's the motor, all sitting in the corner, of course, with a big old scoop back on it. Now, I'm going to give you an introduction to the 55, and we'll kind of take it from there, and I'll show you why the project right now is on pause. Okay, you guys, so this is the 55. When I first originally got this car, I ended up actually trading it. I had a 2012 Mustang GT that I ended up doing a VMP blower combination on, one of their Odins. Made like 700 wheel. That was a really fun car. I really enjoyed that car. But you know how we all go through Facebook Marketplace and you just kind of thumbing around. Any car guys just thumbing around. What's going on? Eating your lunch. This thing came up, and in that ad, I saw the guy. You always check their profile, at least I do. And looking at his profile, and he's got tons of pictures of this notchback Mustang, you know, just about putting it on the bumper. And I thought, man, this guy's a Mustang guy. So I thought, you know what? I wonder if he'd do a trade. So long story short, we ended up trading, and this thing was an original, or is an original, gypsy red, white interior, V8 Power Glide car. And when I got it, there was no interior in it. It was this Hugger orange, and it was his uncle's car, and his uncle had a couple of cars and he passed, and the car was done in the 90s, and the paint job it shows its age, but it's from Tucson, Arizona. I mean, the frame on this thing, the floors, it's the original quarters, doors. I mean, this thing, for you guys who know your Tri-5s, I mean, you know, the rain gutters work great. The doors just, I mean, they close like nothing. I mean, this thing just, I was drop-jawed when I saw it. You know, some guys would look at it, why'd you give that Mustang up? Because I have always wanted this. 2-lane blacktop, American Graffiti. My uncle, my late uncle, who was a Tri-5 guy, he had tons of 55, 56, 57 Chevys, Nomads, and he always had this candy apple red 55, you know, with a pull-off front end, a big cut wheel wells, and it was, like I said, candy apple red, ghost flames, black button tuft interior. I loved the car. And it was always, man, you got to put a blower motor in it. Well, you guys know I got the blower motor. So let me give you a little walk around on the car, and hopefully you guys will see what I've done so far. Now keep in mind, when I had this was a 265 Power Glide stock car. No, it wasn't the original motor. But let me show you what we got going on. Okay, so we're going to start here at the front. What did I do? Obviously, there's some cage, things like that. But what I ended up doing was I ended up having AutoFab build me up some chrome moly upper and lowers. It has QA1 adjustable coilovers up front as well. I did a Flaming River rack and pinion on this thing, and you can see all the notching I had to do. This was for, originally this thing had, and you can see the big notch I had to put in the back there. I had Steve build a twin turbo 540 hydraulic roller cam pump gas. Thing made 1550, had a Power Glide in it. That's what was going in this car. I had it originally built for a 70 split bumper Camaro that I was going to try to run sevens with. Life happens, and you know, this isn't my main job. I wish it was, but this is not my main job. This is just weekends, and I do, you know, roll cages and build motors and stuff like that for people, for basically a little bit of side money to still be able to do my projects. The barn that we're in, this is actually my father's. This is not my barn. I wish I had a barn like this, but it's my father's barn. And you know, the old man. So you'll see his car and the stuff that we're doing as well. It's just a little early here in the shop, or in the barn, and he's not out here yet. So I figured I could be a little more intimate with you guys here and the build. So anyways, let's get back to the build. So with this, that's why that's notched out for the twin turbo setup. The pan, I had to notch it out for that. You know, the little yellow tape marks are where I was originally putting the turbos. And I can put a picture in of what it looked like in the car, just so you guys can see that. So I ended up selling that motor, or actually trading that motor, for this one and a lot of cash, which allowed me to work on the black Camaro that's over there. I'm sure you guys, hopefully you guys go through the library, you'll see some stuff on that. But I had to put this car on pause. So anyways, let's keep going and I'll explain more later. But front end wise, still doing all this. Now this is going to be an all steel car. I didn't want to give up the steel of it. So it is mini tubbed. Yes, I have stuff laying on it. I'm sorry. I got the 20-gallon fuel cell sitting on the back. It's got a fiberglass deck lid that I might not be running. I haven't made that up yet. It's from Glass Tech. I could show you more in the trunk, but I got to take everything off. Right now it's a shelf, for shame. But let me show you the interior here. And you can see, I mean, the floors in this thing are just gorgeous. Gorgeous. So what I ended up doing to the car was, it's 12 point. This is only going to be an 850 cert. I have swing outs. Obviously, I put the headliner in it before I started doing the cage work, and then had my the guys down at Go Fast bend these bars up for me because I don't have a bender that can do that. And Jimmer Klein, Carl, you guys always do great work. But so we're doing this, and I, used to run Top Sportsman. I've had funny car cages. I've been down that road. I didn't want this for this car. I wanted it to be a fun pro streeter. So mini tubbed it. Those are about 5-inch strips. I kept the stock inners because inside the trunk, what I wanted to do, I wanted to keep that factory look. I'm even going to carpet the center, and keep in mind, I want this to look like something from like early 70s, maybe even the late 60s. So I want to do like kind of a tuck and rolled interior. I want this thing to look vintage, like it should be in American Graffiti, or it should be in, Two-Lane Blacktop. Just something really nasty. And, I've wanted to do one of these all my life. So I want that twist of old vintage with, I got the fuel injection and stuff on it, but just what made all of us just fall in love with these cars. So anyways, so back to that, and, just sealed up everything, because I got to have that sealed up just for NHRA bull stuff. The glass in this is just absolutely gorgeous. It is, I had ET Mags make me up. These are kind of duplicates of their magnesium wheel back in the 60s. And then on the back, let me get this stuff out of the way. On the back, there we go. She's sitting nice. Those are a 2912 Goodyear. All right, out back, this thing is a Mosier Dana 60, 35 spline axle, full spool, 373 gears. It is I believe it's Chris Alston who makes the Outlaw ladder bars, where it's almost like a 3-link. So you have your main ladder bar down here. Normally everything's all welded together. And then you have a slight adjustable link in that bottom to kind of preload. These ones, it's a bar that comes here, and think of a 4-link attaching to the bottom link. So it's got more adjustability, plus they're, God, correct me if I'm wrong, they're 1 1/8 chrome moly. They're either 1 1/8 or 1 1/4. I think they're 1 1/8. QA1 double adjustables on the back of this thing. It was set up to handle 1,500 horsepower motor. So to throw in an 800 horsepower blown small block, it's going to gobble this thing up all day long. And that's the fun part. I can beat the snot out of this car with an 800 horse blown small block. It's going to sound great. It's going to have that flavor that we all, fell in love with, with these cars and these hot rods. And it's going to be fun. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of steel. It does have a fiberglass hood. It might have the fiberglass deck lid. I still want to be able to open and close it. I don't want to pin it. I don't want to pin it. Not on this car. I don't want to pin it. So you can see where I'm looking at it going, hopefully I can run, if it'll run 9s, I am changing that lower pulley around. There's a couple of things that I need to change on the crank setup that me and Steve went over, and that's going to get addressed before I decide to make any more boost to this thing, because it's actually sticking out too far, and with that much pulling on the crank, and it's a small block Chevy crank snout. It's not a big block Chevy crank snout. And that is one of the big, red flags that, Steve told me is kind of like, you're riding the rocket here. So that's what it's going to be right now. Once I get onto this car and I address this car, You know, that's going to be one of the things I do. I do want to put the 4L80E in it because I want to drive it down the highway. I want to do some of the drag and drive stuff, and they have a 10.0 class. You know, and, you know, hey, Scott, you used to run, you know, 4-second 8 miles and, you know, 8-second cars, 6-second cars, 7-second. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but I like this. You know, I noticed a lot of comments were, you know, why didn't you just put a blown LS in it and all that? That's easy. I wanted the old school stuff. You know, it's just what I wanted to do. If I can turn this into a 9-second hot rod, you know, it's a legitimate 9-second hot rod. If you have a 9-second street car, guys, on the street, that thing is nuts. A 10-second car on the street is nuts. You know, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a blast in the car. I'm going to even have cup holders. So, reason why I'm putting this thing on a pause, though, was the black car. Okay, you guys, this is the black car. And this is the reason why I'm not working on the 55 presently. This car, if you go through the library, this is what I'm working on right now. And like I said, I'm only working on the weekends. During the week is the Strength Family channel, where I'm lifting weights and having fun and addressing all the weightlifting stuff. Hopefully some of you guys check that out and it helps you guys out, because you never know. Oh yeah, Peck Papa Power, oh yeah. Anyways, but with this car, what happened was the split bumper that I had, I ended up selling that car. Again, just money happens and you gotta kind of play that shell game to keep your hobbies going. Sold the car, kept the motor. Guy didn't want the motor. Did the trade for the Mustang, and then got the 55. Well, immediately at that point, I'm like, I'll put the twin turbo combination in the 55. Again, what happened there? Well, when I sold that car, my buddy called me and he's like, you know, hey man, I got the black car, I need to put it up for sale. And I built this car for him probably 10, 12 years ago. And at that time, it had 10-point cage, it had a pump gas 496 in it. It was running like 1040s, 130. It was a fun street car. And again, how life happens for all of us. He had some medical problems and financial problems, and he wanted me to help him sell the car, and he popped the motor. So I told him, I said, look, I'll rebuild the motor for you. I'll help you put it back in the car. Don't worry about it. I'll help you sell the car so you can, you know, do your thing. And he was super cool. He is super cool. And he really appreciated the help that I gave him building the car, doing everything on the car that I did. And he gave me a smoking deal, and my son really liked working on this thing. He was like the gopher, you know, he loved working on this thing. And he's like, I'd love to see you and your boy really enjoy this car. So at that point, he shot me an offer, and it was too good to pass up. And I always liked the car because when I was building it, it was like, this is kind of how I would do it. So now I have the car. So when I sold the twin turbo motor, I moved a little bit forward on the 55, but with this, now it's a pump gas 555 that ended up making just over 900 horse. I got 2 kits down it. It's gonna make over 1350. Turbo 400, we're doing Caltrax. It's done up pretty nice. If you go through some of the videos and what I got going on, and I'm gonna have more of what I've been doing to this car in more upcoming videos, so hopefully you guys like that. But the thing is, this car's gotta get done first. This is gonna get done first because I'm way closer on this than what I am on that. This is gonna get done first, and I'm getting close. You know, there's stuff I still gotta do. Watch more episodes, you'll be able to see where I'm at and what's going on. But once this is done, then the focus is going back over to the 55 Chevy. Yeah, I want that car done. So, but again, I have X amount of money, I have X amount of time, and it's gonna take a little bit on that car. I mean, I'm not gonna have that car done in, you know, oh, it'll be done in 4 months. Not gonna happen. Will not happen. I'll keep you guys going, and I'll show you all the little things that I'm doing and modifications and the fabricating that I'm doing. It's gonna go a different color. I'd like to do either, right now it's gonna be either candy brandy wine, or it's gonna be a candy apple red with pearl white on the back. That blower poking out of the hood, probably the black and white two-tone interior. I'm thinking probably rolled and pleated, or it might be, I want something that's gonna be that flavor, but you get the idea where I'm at. So that thing's gonna be a blast. I wanna really enjoy that car. So that's where where I'm at. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update because I know some people were in Steve's video going, you know, hey, what's this thing going into? And give us an idea of what you got going on. This is what we got going on, and I know some of you guys were asking that. So again, thank you guys for coming on over and checking out the channel. Guys, I appreciate it so much. I'm just trying to grow this channel out. You know, it's kind of a, you know, blue collar backwoods, you know, barn and situation, but it's still, you know, it's the lifeblood of the muscle car dream. You know, I'm doing the best I can, trying to keep things moving here, and you know, it'll get done. Unfortunately, I don't have this car done. I don't have the 55 done, so we're not doing anything out on the road and doing big smoky burnouts or at the track right now, because when I started this channel, we're literally in the middle of projects. You can see the red Camaro down there. That's the old man's car. We got it back from the paint shop, and that thing is gorgeous. And I'll show you guys some more on his car. But this was just to address the 55. Why isn't it getting worked on? But what was that motor going into? Now you guys know. Again, thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. Spread the word out there and help us grow this channel, all right? I really do appreciate it, and thanks again, guys, for checking this out. Have a good